All right. And I'm sure we're going to have more people join in after we get started, but I just thought I'd go ahead and start so everybody can start and end on time. All right. So we're talking about homebuyer seminars today. And, you know, some of you may have already heard me say this, but what our plan is with this is that today I'm going to be talking about kind of how to host a homebuyer seminar. All right. And I have a handout that I'll be giving you. Uh, but you don't have to do it alone. So the way this works, I've done this before and it works out great, is today we're going to talk about how to do a home buyer seminar. I'll post the recording, I'll email it out, I'll make sure everybody has the recording of this class because by Sunday, I want to know who's in, right? Who's raising their hand and wants to be part of doing a home buyer seminar. And if that's you, you're just going to send me a text, you're going to send me an email saying, I'm in, right? You want to do it. And then once we have our whole group together, once we know who wants to do a home buyer seminar, so probably like Monday or Tuesday, I'll take whoever wants to do it and we'll form some groups. Okay, so groups of maybe 3 or 4 agents. And that way you can do a home buyer seminar, but you aren't doing it alone. All right. You're not responsible only, for all of the steps, but it's not only just the process itself, but sometimes a big part of doing a home buyer seminar is getting, let's call it butts in seats, right? Getting people to show up for your home buyer seminar. So that's much easier to share that amongst a group of a few agents. Another benefit I've noticed of doing that as a group is that those agents who do a homebuyer seminar together kind of form a relationship. Like you make friends, like you have other agents that you like to work with. And a lot of those agents still are working together on things months after, we did a homebuyer seminar together. Um, so before we even start about how to do a homebuyer seminar, why do we do a homebuyer seminar? Anybody hop off of mute. What's our purpose here?
To get more leads, generate leads.
Generate leads. Yes. Yep, generate leads. Love it. What else?
Brand awareness, build our brand.
Okay, build your brand. And like when I'm hearing that, what I'm hearing is it's like it gives you some like credibility, right? Even if people that know you have no interest in attending a homebuyer seminar, they see you running one, right? They see you hosting one, and that gives them a certain impression of you, right? So, yeah, like awareness of your brand and you as a person. Yeah, what else?
I was going to say to educate like people that you have in your pipeline that are potentially not ready to buy right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And if you did that, if you educated them, like then when they are ready to buy, right, they're more connected with you. They're more likely to do that home buyer seminar with you, right? Yeah. So those are some really good reasons to host it. Nobody said this one, but I'm going to throw this one out. Another good reason is it gives you an excuse to talk to people you know about real estate. Anybody struggling with like what to say when you are talking to somebody in your sphere of influence about real estate? Anybody know, like, be like, well, I don't know even know what to say, right? No, nobody but me. I'm the only one. Okay, well, it gives you a reason, right? It's easy to say, hey, I'm doing this home buyer seminar on, September 14th. Do you happen to know anybody who I could invite? Right? So it's sort of a non-pressure way for you to do that. All right, so I'm going to give you a handout that I'm going to put in the chat. If you're driving, like some of us are, that's fine. Don't worry about it. I will be also sending this handout out. I'll be emailing it out to everybody. So if you are unable to grab it right now, no big deal. You can get it later. That's something we're going to use a little bit later. Okay, so as a new agent, there's some really good reasons to host a home buyer seminar. You guys already listed them, right? We might get some clients. We might build some credibility. We might build some brand awareness. It gives us a reason to talk to people that are in our database. Um, and so those are some terrific reasons to do it, right? And another thing about home buyer seminars is kind of the goal isn't only about having people attend that day. You might have a homebuyer seminar with hardly any attendance, only a handful of people show up. but you had the opportunity to like talk to a lot of people about the homebuyer seminar, whether or not they plan to attend, right? You gained all of those things. It's not about who shows up that day. It's so much of it is about what happened before it, and then also what happens after it in the way that you can follow up. Any questions or thoughts on that part so far? Okay. All right.
No,
Okay. Yeah.
I'm helping a girlfriend. She had surgery,
Okay.
and so I stayed with her last night, and then her kids came over, and I was like, "Hey, hosting a
Well,
homebuyer
homebuyer
seminar in a couple
seminar.
of weeks."
Love that.
So
And you don't even know the date yet, but you know
I don't
you're
even
doing
know the
one,
date
right?
yet, but
I
I know we're doing it.
love that. Yeah, it's a
So yeah.
really easy thing to say. Oh, what a great example, Janet. Thanks for sharing that.
Mhm.
Oh, I love that. Okay. So when you do a home buyer seminar, if you want to, you can specialize it. A lot of times I don't, though. Like some people, and I'm just going to give this to you as an option, some agents will have a home buyer seminar that's sort of like geared just toward first-time home buyers or geared just toward renters or geared just for people who aren't sure if they're ready to buy or need down payment assistance or something like that. I'm going to say I personally probably wouldn't do that. I probably would just do home buyers in general, just because you want as many people there as you want, and then you'll be able to narrow it down later. But that is an option. And some of you might be have a sphere where that makes sense, right? So for example, maybe not for this home buyer seminar, but maybe for your next one, you just Janet just mentioned like young people, right? You might, if you knew a lot of people in that age group who have not yet bought a house, maybe you're going to do one that's about just for first-time home buyers, right? So this one, maybe we make it more general for everybody, but feel free to be specific if that makes sense to you. Okay. And then you're going to pick some kind of snappy title, right? That fits in with that. We can talk more about that later. Um, but then, so then your group, what'll happen after today, right? Next week when we figure out who's in what group, you're first going to have to start planning your event, right? Give me some ideas. What sorts of things do I need to plan? And just come off and mute.
You're going to need to plan around the beginning of school because um, a lot of parents are gearing up to take those kids back for the first day of school, which is last week of August, first week of September. So it may
You're going
not
to choose
behoove
a
you to plan
date.
then.
Yeah, you're going to choose a date, right? And
The
Michelle's saying
location
around
also.
school, I'm choosing a date. I'm going to make sure it's not a holiday. I'm going to make sure I'm giving myself enough planning. Janet just said a location, right? You're going to need a location. What else? Maybe your location, let's talk about that, could be at the office. It could be at a library or a community center. Later on, if you're going to do a home buyer seminar um, of your own, sometimes people do it at like their workplace even, right? Or a church or something like that. Okay, so tell me some more things. What else do I have to plan?
I would say like advertising as well as handouts. So like just sort of physical items.
Love that. How are we going to advertise this home buyer seminar in our group? And like what handouts are we going to have? Love that. Yeah, absolutely. What else?
We'd probably want to connect with like a lender partner.
Yes. Who are you partnering with? Yeah, you may not know this yet if you haven't done a homebuyer seminar yet, which probably everybody in this room has not. During the homebuyer seminar, the lender is the one doing most of the talking, not you. And they're going to provide the PowerPoint. So yeah, we're going to need to choose a lender that we want to partner with and possibly other partners as well. Yeah, love that. What else?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, is it typically just a lender, or is this like we need a like we should be looking for like title as well as like a lender and then maybe something else that might be value add?
That's a great
Or is it
question.
typically just lender?
That's a great question. Okay, some people do it with more than one partner, like a title company, home inspector, something like that. I'm going to recommend you do it with just a lender. Okay, but you're gonna this is your home buyer seminar, so you can do whatever you want. My reasoning for that is that people who aren't ready to buy a house yet don't need all those other partners yet. and I want to keep it short. I'd rather keep it short and simple. So that's my reasoning, but you might make a different choice. Yeah. So one of your decisions that you're going to make is which partners are you going to include? Yeah. Love that. What else do I need to plan?
We said date, time, location,
Hmm?
partner,
Partners,
specialization, marketing,
advertising. Yep.
advertising,
I have a couple
So
of,
social.
until you said the last bit about the lenders doing most of the talking, I thought we
yeah.
were gonna have to be doing like a presentation
Nope.
and like organizing. So we just
You're like,
advertise?
hi, my name's Marguerite, blah, 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 blah. Here's my lender. Take it away, lender. Right. And then the lender does almost the whole thing. And they're going to refer to you. So they're going to say, so when you're ready to buy home, call Marguerite to, blah, blah, blah. But they're doing most of the talking and they already have a PowerPoint. I know.
I thought we'd have to make all that. Okay,
This is
so
so much easier than you're thinking it's going to be.
wow.
Yes. Love that. We need like a little light bulb emoji or something, right? Yeah, it's not that bad. But there's still a couple things we need to plan that nobody's thought of yet. And I'm waiting to see if somebody thinks of them. But if not, I'll just spill it if you can't. Any other ideas? Yeah, Michelle.
Prizes and giveaways.
Love that. Right. You might have a prize or a giveaway. People will attend things because of a prize or a giveaway. You might have a raffle. Now, how do you think you might pay for that prize or giveaway?
It's going to come out of my business budget called my credit
Yeah,
card.
let's toss it. I have
The
another
partner.
idea. No,
The
your
partner.
partner. Get
Yes.
your title company lender or whatever to pay for that stuff. Yes. And it might be something small. Like maybe it's like a Amazon gift card or something, right? It doesn't have to be a big thing, but it's nice to have a giveaway of some kind, like a prize. You could also have a giveaway that you need to plan that is information that somebody is going to receive when they come to this home buyer seminar. You might have handouts that you're going to provide. Some of the groups that did this last time around, like had like a folder they gave everybody, or a notebook and pens that they got from the lender or the title company, or so there's like items that you might be giving away. Maybe they're all in a bag. Totally up to you. All right, there's something else that I'm thinking of. Oh, I see something in the chat. Snacks. Yes. How are we not thinking about food? Are you guys not? It's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We need some snacks, right? We did one time. We called it Mimosas and Mortgages. And we did a late morning homebuyer seminar. And we got the lender to sponsor bagels and mimosas.
I
Okay.
like it.
I know. It was really fun. But snacks, right? You're going to want some kind of food. If there is no food in an event, I don't want to go. I am with you on that one. Like, really, you got to have something there, right? So we're going to think about food. Something else to think of, though, that nobody's mentioned yet.
A QR code sign in so they can
Love
sign
that.
in,
A way to
evaluate
sign
after.
in. Yep, absolutely. That's a good one. How about this? Is your event only in person? Is it only Zoom? Or is it hybrid? You could choose from any of those three options, and there's good reasons for each of those things. Okay, so here's how this is going to work. Okay, we're going to have a group, right, on Monday, because I got to send this recording out. So I don't know who's doing it yet, right? So by Sunday, I'm going to ask everybody to let me know if they want to do this. And then so on Monday, you'll have a group, and your group will meet. Yes, drop the link in the chat. So the thing I'm putting in the chat is a PDF that I will also email out. So if you are unable to download it right now, don't worry about it. You'll get it in your email as well. Just a little planning guide. Okay, so Monday you're going to find out who's in your group. Okay, let's say you have 4 agents in your group. Okay, somebody's got to like initiate a little group text there. And here's what's happening. It isn't me. Okay. This is your homebuyer seminar. So I'm here to support you, but you guys are in charge. So you'll be in a group. Let's say it's 4 agents, and one of the agents in that group sends a group text all 4. You're going to arrange a time and a place to meet. Maybe you're meeting in person at the office. You're going to meet at Starbucks. You're going to meet on Zoom, whatever you guys decide to do. In this meeting, you're going to want to talk through and make decisions on those things we talked about. And don't worry, they're in that handout. So even if you didn't take great notes, they're in that handout. You're going to get the recording of this later. But you'll make decisions, right? Which lender partner do we want to use? What's our date? What's our location? Is this in person? Is it Zoom? Is it hybrid? Which way, what's our food? What's our, give outs, all those kinds of things. You're going to make some decisions. Okay. And then every week we will have a plan, like kind of a mastermind. And this mastermind does not need to be every single person in your group. I just want like one person from your group at least to attend, because what I like with this meeting that we have is just the sharing of ideas, right? So Marguerite's group thinks of some fantastic snacks they're going to have at their home buyer seminar. Michelle's like, oh, I like those snacks. Let me just copy off of Marguerite's snack idea here, right? So you can, instead of having to think of everything
Reinvent the
yourself,
wheel.
don't reinvent the wheel, right? Communicate with each other. So everybody is welcome, but I'm really hoping at least one person from each group can attend this sort of mastermind meeting to share ideas in each group. And then over the next however many weeks, we'll keep doing that. And you're going to see some of the homebuyer seminars will happen sooner than others. Some will have more attendees than others, but we'll kind of keep tabs on how everybody's doing with their homebuyer seminar. And I'm there to support you as you have questions along the way. And we'll run that meeting every week where we kind of mastermind amongst each group. Okay, couple of things. So here's what happens in the homebuyer seminar, sort of a general outline. Okay, is all right. Donna's in. Yes, love it. Okay, so it might be something about like an introduction. So someone will introduce whoever's there. So it will be the 3 or 4 agents and the lender, and then maybe you have other partners as well. So somebody introduces everybody. And then the lender will talk about like, am I ready to buy a house now? Right? Financing and pre-approval, how all that works. How much money do I need? The home buying process. This is a good thing to have a handout for that home buying process, right? So you might be thinking ahead of time about handouts you might have. Common buyer mistakes, and then it's just usually question answer time. Okay, so a home buyer seminar could only be like a half hour, 45 minutes long. Probably 45 minutes is a good amount of time. And then you would schedule it for an hour and there's time for questions and answers. And then some people will hang out a lot longer because you have great snacks, right? And so they're going to hang out, eat your wonderful snacks. The biggest time for you is going to be in the before it and after it. Okay, that's where we spend most of our time. All right, so how am I going to get the word out about this homebuyer seminar?
Social media.
Posting.
Social media. You are posting it to social media, including we're going to make each person an individual Eventbrite invitation. I don't want one Eventbrite for the whole group. I want each agent to have their own. Any ideas why I'm saying to do that?
That way it's
So we can own leads, or
Yes, that's 100% it. Like
Yeah.
Janet, if you invited and you had 12 people come to this homebuyer seminar, and I only invited one person, you should get 12 leads and I should get one lead, right? Each agent should benefit from the work they personally do. So by having each agent have a separate Eventbrite link, it makes it easier to keep track of. And in the past, what groups have done is that one person designs the Eventbrite link, they'll design a graphic for it, and everybody uses the same graphic, but each person has their own Eventbrite link. Yeah. Okay. How else would I guess? So social media, Eventbrite, how else am I getting the word out?
Word of mouth, send it in a group text.
Great.
to
Okay.
your
A group
family,
to
friends.
your sphere, right? Yeah, your sphere.
Yeah.
Okay, so even somebody who has absolutely no interest in buying a house right now, they just bought one 3 months ago, you can ask them, do they know anybody who would want to come to your homebuyer seminar? So it doesn't have to be people you think might attend. It could be anybody. Flyers. Yes, you're going to make a flyer. You might have the lender do it. You guys might do it yourselves and go print it at the office. But yeah, a flyer. And where are you going to put that flyer?
I'm gonna go door
Bus stop.
knocking. You wanna
Oh, wait. Okay, wait. Let's talk about that. Door knock. Where would you door knock if you were looking to have people come to a homebuyer seminar?
in close proximity to the site location.
Well, where can I find people who might be interested in buying a house?
Oh,
Apartments?
Apartments, right. Now
oh yeah.
you might get kicked out, but
I was gonna
maybe you
say,
are.
aren't there like rules
There might
with certain
be.
buildings?
There
Okay.
might be, right? But maybe there's a community bulletin board in an apartment complex where you
Mhm.
could post
Okay.
it, right? Yep. If I had a grocery store that was right next to an apartment complex, I might put it there. Where else could I what else could I do with a flyer?
It said library.
Library?
I I think
I
bus
like the
stops
QR
because it
code.
draws the most
Yeah.
traffic.
Say it again. The
I
person on
think
the
bus stops because it draws the
oh,
most traffic.
bus stop. Okay, love that. Yep. And somebody said QR code. Your flyer can have a QR code on it. Would be a great idea. Can and should have a QR code. Okay. Where else? There's a big one that you might be doing this weekend.
Open
They can
Open
houses.
open
houses.
house.
Oh.
Open houses. What if you had it at your open house? You know, you might meet some people who are thinking about buying a house at an open house, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where else?
So I'm thinking a bit more like for, I guess, oh gosh, we have a sensor. It's stupid. I'm thinking for like more targeted ones, I guess, because
Yeah.
then I feel like you could potentially partner with like a senior center if you do one that's like focused towards downsizing,
Oh yeah.
and like finding the perfect
Yeah.
home for
Yeah.
your next stage, or like
Hmm.
with if we were to target like nurses,
Yeah.
teachers, something that
Yeah.
does one of those grants,
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
would potentially just reach out to the union for
Yeah.
teachers.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
like really kind of
Yeah.
targeting a specific audience with those.
Yeah. No, I love that. And actually, some agents have taken a flyer like that and brought like a box of donuts to a school, a firehouse, wherever, advertising it. There's a special grant called FHLB that usually
Hmm.
gets funded about like February-ish, and like around then, like save that idea for then because that is just the perfect thing to do in March.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
wouldn't, I was thinking that you might want to have one in like November or something just so
You
they can
you
get
you
ready.
can. You can. It's
Okay.
just that we don't know what the amounts are going to be yet for FHLB until we won't
Okay.
know until it comes out what the amount is. But you still could do a targeted one. You just won't be able to advertise that particular grant yet.
Okay, so you're thinking instead of like letting them know, hey, there's a grant that comes out every year,
Well,
get
I mean,
ready to be by in March
I might
versus like
say
actually have
that.
it in March.
Now, I might say that, but I probably wouldn't
Okay.
put it on my printed materials because I don't have a
Okay.
guarantee that that grant is going to be there next year. You know what
Oh,
I mean? Like it has never
okay.
been, it always has been, but I'm just hesitant to advertise something that I'm not, I don't know what the numbers are. I'm not sure,
Mhm.
who knows?
Yeah.
Things can happen. Um, but I love the idea of having a focused homebuyer seminar toward teachers, nurses, whatever. Love that idea. Like I think that's great, especially if like Michelle here, was a nurse for however many years it was, a very long time, like she would have great authority in that room, I was a nurse for this long, like that. I love that idea. So, keep thinking about this because we're going to
Mhm.
do this as a group, but you might decide I'm going to have a home buyer seminar, every other month, right? And maybe some of them are on Zoom. Like we're doing this once in groups so that you feel confident doing it. And
Mhm.
then you could very easily do it by yourself after you do this. It's just not that hard. Some agents have one every single month. And then that way you always have something to invite people to. And maybe it's on Zoom, a lot of the times.
Yeah.
That too. Yeah, love that. All right, so we're not only going to rely on social media, we're going to do other stuff too, but social media will probably be the biggest. But you're going to call people, text people that you know. Of course, social media, we're going to make a flyer, put it places where people who might want to buy a home might see it. Um, and instead of inviting people to the home buyer seminar, a lot of people, you might, instead of saying it that, do you want to come to a home buyer seminar? No, I'm not interested in buying. That's where I might say, hey, I'm hosting a home buying seminar for people who are thinking about buying a home. Do you know anybody who might like to attend that? Then I still have that touch with that person I'm talking to, and they also might bring me a new lead. Okay, so how long do you think we want to start this? How much advance time do you think we need?
About 2 weeks.
2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, I
Probably.
think I probably would, the first time I probably would give it 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But like next time you do it, you probably only need 2 weeks. You don't need that much notice.
Mhm.
It's pretty easy to set up. Depends on your location. Sometimes like if you need to, let's say you wanted to book the office space, like your date might depend on when the office is available, right? Um, but maybe you're having it somewhere else. Like last time we did it, some of them were in person, some of them were Zoom, some were hybrid. Some people used the office, some people used a community center. Like you guys in your group will decide, where exactly this thing is going to take place. And I would give yourself at least 3 weeks. You might even do longer if the members of your group, want a little bit more time or people are on vacation or whatever it happens to be. Okay, so we're doing all this planning, right? We have a seminar, we invite a whole bunch of people there. The day of, you're going to arrive early, get things set up. I would encourage you to test out how you share your screen with your laptop. If you're at the office or whatever, do that during the week when there's people there who can help you. If you show up on Saturday and you don't know how to do it, there might not be somebody who can help you. So make sure your technology is figured out in advance. And then the day of, like I said, one of you will introduce everybody. Like probably every person hosting it will say a couple of sentences, but most of the talking is done by the lender. Okay, they're going to lead the presentation, they're going to provide the PowerPoint, they're doing the whole kind of thing. But you guys will have handouts, you might have snacks, you might have a giveaway of some sort. So all that happens during the home buyer seminar. It'll probably be about an hour long. And then plan to hang out afterward with people who want to talk, right? I don't want to kick anybody out if they're wanting to talk about the home buying process. And then, just like all the lead generation in the beginning was super important, the follow-up afterward is super important, right? So I'm definitely, of course, following up with anybody who came, right? Thanks for coming. Do you need any information? Blah, 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 whatever it happens to be. I might also follow up, though. Actually, I should follow up with anybody who said they were coming and didn't show up. Okay, because what if you said, "Oh, something came up, they couldn't attend." No worries. I'd love to get on Zoom with you this week, and I'll just kind of go over the highlights and give you the handouts. Then you can kind of almost like a pre-buyer appointment, right? Giving them a lot of information about the process. The goal here, in the end of this, I'm hoping you get some buyer appointments, some buyer strategy sessions out of this, some people that you can connect with the lender, right? And they've already met the lender, right? So they're ready to go, right? Sometimes you do this and I've had people talking to the lender right after the seminar because they were like ready to go. And they just sat down with the lender right then and there to get the process started. Okay, so then I follow up with everybody who showed up. I follow up with everybody who did not show up. And I'm going to keep all of those people in my database. You're going to have strangers sign up if you put this on Eventbrite. You might have strangers. If you put out flyers at an apartment complex, you might have strangers. Everybody goes in command, whether or not they showed up and whether or not they seemed interested. All right, questions? There's a lot.
I have a question.
Yes.
For those that are interested in converting their vouchers, housing vouchers or Section 8 over into buying a house, do we have resources that we could incorporate into the seminar to kind of work specifically with that group?
Yeah, you could. So there are loan programs like that, and I would have you reach out to any one of our partner lenders and get some more information about how that program works. So you could choose to do a homebuyer seminar that's only for that group of people, just like I could choose to do one for first-time homebuyers or people buying their second home. You could specialize. I'm going to recommend that instead of specializing for this one, you just make it a homebuyer seminar and invite everybody. But, you know, if any group needs some one-on-one information, that's great because it doesn't need to be in the homebuyer seminar. Now they showed up, they learned the process, and now we connect them with the lender. And then they and the lender have a one-on-one phone call so that the lender can really guide them through all that. Make sense?
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's true for anybody. Anybody at the homebuyer seminar, we're not expecting them to leave that knowing everything. We're expecting them to leave it knowing just enough that we can get them to talk to the lender. That's all we need. Because then each person is going to have individual needs, you know? Yeah, great question.
So when you were saying about following up with people that maybe didn't make it,
Yeah,
do you think are there lenders that'd be willing to share their presentation? Because I know it's going to
yeah,
be somewhat lender specific, like we can't
mhm,
talk to it, but we can go, oh, here's what the lender gave.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah, most of the time they just send it to you to send out. Yep, great question.
sweet.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you're going to
And
have
then
handouts too, you know, so that you can send them. Yeah,
yeah, and I was just thinking kind of to follow up with the last question. So like if we know we're going to be inviting people that are going to have some sort of hesitancy because of financial or whatever, like I know people that like I've mentioned like,
yeah,
oh, it's not as impossible as it seems, and they just
yeah.
outright laugh at me and be like, okay, that's cute. You're adorable. Great luck. But
Right.
they just tune me out. So I'm wondering
Yeah.
like, would it be possible to kind of talk with lenders about like these are like some people that I know are in my audience to then
Yeah.
have targeted flyers for them so I can
Yeah.
confidently tell them like, hey, it's not going to be a huge like
Yeah.
targeted thing, but
Yeah.
I got you.
You can have a flyer, but you can also
Okay.
sometimes the other thing you can do is you can say, "Hey, I know you feel like you're not ready to apply for a mortgage yet, but would you be open to like just a quick 10-minute call with the lender? They're just going to be able to give you some guidance on
Mm.
what to do to get ready to buy a home."
Okay.
And that
So even if
lenders
they
are
don't
willing to do
come,
that. Right.
okay.
But maybe they'll just come for the snacks, you know?
Yeah.
But if you
Like
can
you
get
had
them,
me at mimosas
there
and
you go. I
mortgages.
know. See,
Yes.
right? Yeah, one of the groups last time, or maybe the time before, did like a special dessert thing, and they had all these fancy desserts. But not everybody does that. Some people just have like, you know, coffee and bagels, and that's fine too. You don't have to have that theme if you don't want to. It's totally up to you. All right, more questions. Okay, well, don't hesitate to text me if you think of something later. So I will be sending the recording out. I have to, Zoom does not let me do that immediately. I have to wait till it like processes. So it'll either be tonight or tomorrow that I'll send out the recording. Um, and then just let me know by Sunday. Even if you put it in the chat, still text me or email me because once I close the Zoom, I won't see the chat anymore. Um, and then, but whoever's in, like I hope everybody here is in. This is just, it's really not that hard. It's pretty easy. Some of you in this room have been in real estate for a very short time. That's okay. This is going to build your credibility, right? By doing this, it's going to be not that hard. You're going to do it with others, and people will see you as, oh, wow, look at her. She's doing a homebuyer seminar. You know, like it really raises your credibility with your sphere. Tons of advantages to you for doing this. So if you put it in the chat, still I want you to text me or email me because I won't have the chat later. And just let me know you're in. And then on Monday, I'll have everybody's answers. I'm going to send it out to the entire group, see who wants to do it. And by Monday, I will be able to form groups and we will get this process started. I'm excited. This will be great. All right. I think that's it. Thanks for coming,
Kristen,
everybody. Yeah.
I was going to say, when forming the groups, can you form us just based on where we are so that we're not like driving really far to like just have a seminar in terms of like selecting a location? It's like ease in that process.
So yeah, so here's what I'll do. So I always split the offices because as most of you know, I work with both the Baltimore agents and Bethesda agents. So I always
Yeah.
have Baltimore and Bethesda as separate groups. Unless
Awesome.
somebody actually sometimes agents want to be in the other one. So if that's you, if you're in like the Bethesda office and would prefer to do it in Baltimore or vice versa, just let me know. Um, so it'll definitely be by office, but if you have, I don't necessarily know where everybody lives, so I probably can't do it any further than that. And oh, and I'll also say this, if you're in the wrong group and you want to switch, just text me. Um,
Awesome.
last time I had a group where this poor agent, like the other people in the group were just not responsive. All of us were in high school at one time. Remember how when you had that group project and like you're the one doing all the work and nobody else is showing. Okay, if that happens to you, we're just going to switch you. Okay, just text me, we'll switch you. Okay, it could happen. I hope it doesn't, but it might, right? Because we're all human and people get busy. But if it does, you can switch.
How
I
soon
was
would you like a
wondering,
text?
Go ahead, Marguerite.
oh, someone asked how soon do you want the text?
Oh, I don't care. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
And then
Between
with my
between now and
question,
Sunday. Between now and Sunday.
um, yeah, so I was wondering, like, is if there is a lot of people kind of following up with the previous one, like in a
Yeah.
certain office, should we include like the location? Like, I have a lot of people that are like Montgomery County specifically, and they're not going
Yeah.
to want to travel outside of that.
You know what? Let's do
Um,
that. Let's
Me
do that. I'll
too.
just put this. We're
Yeah.
still recording, so and I'll put this in the email. So if that would be great if you put in there your specific location. If you prefer like just Montgomery County, just PG
mhm.
County, just Bethesda, whatever
Yeah.
it happens
I
to
I don't live there anymore, but that's where I'm gonna have to be traveling for my
be.
base. I know for a fact.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, and I'll do my best to group people as I can, which is, it's like doing a puzzle. It's a little tricky sometimes.
And
Right.
then I had a random thought come to my head just because you said
Yes.
like themed things like mimosa and
Yeah.
mortgages.
Yeah.
Do you think it'd be too much to almost do like a kind of activity in parallel? So it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna talk about like home buying or whatever, and then it'll turn into like a paint and sip or something
Um,
of that nature? Or is that like, because I
hmm,
feel like that might be too much, but it might get people in the door?
I don't
It's
know.
gonna dilute it a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have not seen somebody do that, but
Okay.
I could see arguments for both sides, so talk about it with your group. Like that's the thing is you guys you get to experiment too. Like you might do this time and it might be in person only. And then next time you might want to do a Zoom only one. Like just see what
Mhm.
works, right? It doesn't take that much time. It's not that hard and the benefits are huge.
Yeah. Sounds like
Awesome.
fun.
Yeah, it
Awesome.
is. Okay. Any more questions? I thought somebody else was talking and I couldn't catch who it was.
Hey, Christian, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Well, I still cannot have the reason why the guests come to our home buyer seminar. Basically, as I put on the chat, what is the catchy
Hmm.
sentence or phrase that we use just to
Yeah.
make people believe come? And maybe a sub question of it. Do we target the participants like or just randomly invite, or do we really like what you call filter them somehow, like potential buyers basically? Do we like
Okay.
target somehow or can
So most people invite just everybody because we don't know who really wants to buy a house, right? And so most people are just happy to get people in the room. But in your group, if you guys decide to target it in a certain way, you absolutely can do that. Like there's not one right way to do this. And so if your group decides we want to target first-time home buyers, you can do that, or whatever else you want to target. Most of us will probably do just a general invite everybody. And then you asked about a snappy sentence. All right, I'm going to let the room give me some examples. How could we advertise this? Like, what would we get to make somebody want to come to a home buying seminar? Everybody's blank. I would ask ChatGPT, by the way. That's how I'm going to have it written, is I'm going to ask AI to give me a snappy title. Because in the end, the reason they're coming is because they are considering buying a home at some point. Maybe not like next week. Maybe it's next spring. Whenever it is, they're thinking about it, right? It's in their mind that that might be an option. It might be something they want to do. And they're coming to a fun event that's not scary, just to find out a little bit more. So that's
I
what
was thinking this is your sign.
this is your what? This is your sign?
This is your sign.
Oh, there you
Yes.
go. I love that. Have like either a sign theme or a zodiac, whatever, however you want to do it. Love that. Yeah, there's so many different ways you can do this.
Can you rephrase what she said? Sorry, I
She
didn't hear
said,
that.
this is your sign. This is your sign.
Sign, just sign?
Yeah, this is your sign that this
Yeah,
is
it
the
could be a
time to buy a
sold
house.
sign or
Oh, yeah,
for a
this is your
sale
sign.
sign
Right, a for
or
sale
yeah.
sign. I
Mhm.
love that. All right, you
Okay.
guys are going to have fun in your group brainstorming ideas, All right. Well, with that, if you need anything, reach out. But otherwise, I will be sending this out as soon as I can, and we will get started next week. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.